everyone, Teresa here with Culture Engineered, and this month we're talking about how to handle employee concerns. So in our first episode, we talked about how to actually have that conversation, the initial conversation with an employee around their concerns in order to get them up and for them to share them with you and get the information you need to look into those concerns and potentially, hopefully, resolve the concerns. And then the second episode that we did was how to address those concerns with the accused. So often when employees share these concerns with us, there's someone kind of at the root of those concerns. So that might be one person, like a manager or coworker, or maybe it's an entire department or a group of individuals. So regardless, those are the great steps to get you started and have an effective investigative process into employee concerns. And today we're talking about how to actually have conversations with those that may have also experienced but did not report concerns to us, or witnesses that either the accused person or persons or employee that brought their concerns to our attention gave us their names. So how you approach these individuals is very important, because even though they are not really directly involved with the issue at hand, they're not the person expressing concerns to you, nor are they the person being blamed or as problematic or part of the concerns. These are simply folks that too have either witnessed or been impacted by concerns similar to the employee had previously described and attested to. So when approaching them, understanding that they too may be cautious in being part of your process in reviewing concerns, I highly encourage you to approach them discreetly. And you will want to set up a meeting with these individuals. Even before that, you should have come up with some critical questions you really want to go over with them, because you don't want to just be going off the cuff in the conversation with these individuals. Although you'll likely come up with additional questions while you're talking with them, there are likely, if you're thinking of them as an important person to talk with in this process, then you likely want them to either validate or debunk certain pieces of information, and that's important to capture before going into the conversation. So get your information together, write it down, type it out, whatever works best for you, and have it handy, and then reach out to them and set up a meeting. Reach out to them discreetly and look to set up a meeting that's private. So you'll usually want it without any distractions, and although there are some times that you might want a neutral party present, such as their manager or your manager or HR, for the purpose of this discussion, we'll just keep it as a private discussion between the two of you. And so in that discussion, no distractions, and you really want to open up that discussion by asking if they know why you've asked to meet with them. And oftentimes they know. That can be because it was a very explosive event. Maybe the employee that initially came to you about their concerns told them, I'm going to this person to express my frustrations and concerns about this issue. There can be a lot going on as to why. Hopefully they didn't hear it through the grapevine, right? But there can be a lot of good reasons or understandable reasons that they are aware as to why you're tapping them and asking them to come meet with you about something. If they don't know why they're there, or they give you a reason that's way off, now is a good time to explain to them the reason that you are looking into some concerns. And I would keep it typically at high level, not giving up details such as the name of the employee that came and expressed their concern to you, and not giving up details that will, in essence, make this discussion with them useless. So if you're feeding them information and then they just are repeating that back to you, it really does you no good. So you want to approach this strategically, because you're looking for them to really provide context around some certain details that you don't want to taint with knowledge or letting them know what you already have heard. You want their true objective point of view on this situation. And then document their answers. So you should be typing or writing. A lot of times I'll ask if they mind if I type or write, because it is an unnerving situation. And if you in any way notice that they're shutting down or seem uncomfortable, they're giving you short answers, they're crossing their arms, they're looking away, they're shrugging, just things to suggest that they're not really engaged in the conversation, or they become defensive. At that point, it's a good time to go into why you are asking the things you're asking, how you approach employee concerns, you value them, and how you approach them and look to find solutions. That should be the reason. That's not the legal reason to do an investigation, a workplace investigation, and unfortunately most of the time we're just doing them for legal reasons, which is awful. The true purpose in looking into employee concerns and doing investigations is to resolve issues that are plaguing our business and the employees that work for us or with us. So that should be keep that close to your heart and your mind as you approach your investigation, and then don't be afraid to share that. A lot of people have been part of investigations or this process in other workplaces, and not all workplaces handle it from that perspective. It is a blame game. People have experienced retaliation, so really be sensitive to the mindset that they're bringing into it based on their experience elsewhere. And then, once they're opening up, sharing their information, you get all the information you need. Once you've finished that, ask them what questions they have for you. Again, questions around this will likely come down to, what will become of the people at hand. Is the manager going to get in trouble? Are you going to fire the employee? You'll get a lot of questions like that. Basically, questions around the integrity of your investigation. So be prepared for those questions beforehand. You'll want to be honest, but not giving up too much information. So stressing the importance of confidentiality is critical. Also, setting the expectation that they should not experience any type of retaliation. Understand the concerns that they have coming into this conversation and before they leave the conversation, because that really is a big part of their experience with your company. And then once you've resolved their concerns, answered the questions that you can, again, if you haven't already, stress the importance of confidentiality and non-retaliation. And then advise them to come to you if they remember anything else or have any additional follow-up questions. And then also let them know you might be reaching out to them for any additional follow-up questions, because you should try and capture as much as possible in this one setting, because people hate this situation. So do your best to not make them experience it any more than they have to. But as you talk with other people and get additional information, it's very likely you'll have to go back and do a follow-up conversation. So let them know that that's a possibility. And then, thank them for their willingness to help you, talk about the parts of your business that maybe could be better, and encourage them to always keep that communication open and how much you value it. You'll also potentially have to chat with some folks that aren't necessarily witnesses, but have understanding of technical or procedural processes, such as if someone comes to you with a concern about employees mishandling money, you would want to talk with your accounting department. Maybe some inappropriate communications, you'll probably want to talk with an IT manager to get access to emails or what have you. So those are some other individuals that you might need to bring into your investigation. I would approach them with caution, go to someone who is known to be trustworthy, and absolutely share with them on a need-to-know basis. And definitely set the expectation for confidentiality. It really needs to be an important part of every conversation you have as part of your investigation. So next we'll be talking about how to wrap up, really making a recommendation, how to get your documentation in order. But if you need help addressing employee concerns in your workplace beyond what we've covered today, please reach out to Culture Engineered. Otherwise, see you next week as we talk about wrapping up an overall investigation and resolving employee concerns. Thanks.